Have you ever felt like you don't belong? Like no matter how much you try to fit into this world, there's a part of you that feels different, as if you're watching life from the outside while everyone else just plays along effortlessly. That feeling, that quiet knowing, is where it all begins. Because you and I were not here to follow the script. We're here to rewrite it. Chosen ones are not just a concept or a label. It's an identity, a responsibility, and sometimes a burden. But let me ask you, have you ever stopped to wonder why? Why you were chosen? Why life has been so uniquely difficult and strange for you? Why you've endured so much pain, isolation, and rejection? It's because the world needs you to wake up, to break free, to rise. And sometimes the only way to awaken is through suffering. Think about this: the world we live in is a cycle, a loop of fear, division, greed, and ignorance. Most people are trapped in it, completely unaware. They live their lives chasing things that don't matter: money, validation, meaningless distractions, while their souls wither away in silence. But you've always felt different, haven't you? Even from a young age, you could feel there was more to life than what you were being told. You sensed the lies, the illusions, the emptiness of it all. That's because you were never meant to fit into this broken system. But here's the hard truth: being chosen doesn't make life easier. In fact, it makes it harder. Because the very things the world tells you to pursue, success, comfort, fitting in, are the things that will suffocate you. Your soul doesn't crave those things. It craves something deeper, something real. And that's why the path of the chosen one is so painful. It forces you to shed everything that isn't true. Every belief, every attachment, every false identity. Until there's nothing left but the real you. The you that's ready to rise. But here's where it gets tricky. When you start to wake up, the world will push back. It will test you, challenge you, and try to pull you back into the illusion. It will whisper in your ear, "Who do you think you are? You're just like everyone else. You can't change anything," and that's where most people fall. That's where they give up. But not you. Because you were chosen for a reason.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lessons.
Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly listened to your soul? Not your mind, not your fears, not the noise of the world, but the quiet, powerful voice inside you that knows the truth. That voice is your compass. It's what will guide you through the chaos. But it takes courage to follow it, because it will lead you into the unknown. It will take you places most people are too afraid to go. The world doesn't need more followers. It needs leaders. But not the kind of leaders who seek power or control. It needs the kind of leaders who have walked through the fire of their own pain, who have faced their fears, and who have come out the other side with wisdom, compassion, and strength. It needs people like you. People who can see beyond the surface, who can feel the pulse of the earth, who can hear the cries of humanity and respond with love. But here's the catch: to save the world, you must first save yourself. You must heal the wounds within you, break the chains that bind you, and reclaim your power. Because you can't give what you don't have. You can't bring light to the world if you're still lost in your own darkness. So I want you to take a moment right now and ask yourself, what's holding you back? What fear, belief, or attachment is keeping you from stepping into your power? Be honest. Because the only way forward is through. You can't skip the hard parts. You can't bypass the pain. But you can transform it. You can use it as fuel to ignite the fire within you. And that fire, that light, is what the world needs most. Because when you shine, you give others permission to shine too. When you rise, you show others that it's possible. That's why you were chosen, not to save the world through force or control, but to save it through your example. To remind humanity of what's possible when we let go of fear and step into love. But this is just the beginning. The weight of the calling is heavy, but there's a reason why you're feeling it now. The world is changing. The old systems are crumbling. The lies are being exposed, and more people are waking up. But they need leaders. They need guides. They need you. So I'll leave you with this question as we move forward. Are you ready to answer the call? Are you ready to step into your destiny, even if it means letting go of everything you thought you knew? Because the journey of the chosen one is not for the faint of heart, but it is the most powerful, transformative journey you will ever take. Pain. That's the first thing most chosen ones feel when they start their journey. It's not just physical pain or emotional pain. It's a deep soul-level ache. It's the kind of pain that comes from realizing the life you've been living isn't the life you were meant to live. It's the pain of breaking apart everything you thought you were so you can rebuild yourself into who you're meant to be. But why does it have to be this way? Why does transformation so often begin with suffering? You might have asked yourself this question many times. Why me? Why does my life feel so heavy? Why does it seem like everything I care about gets taken away from me? These questions can haunt you, especially in the darkest moments. But let me tell you a secret: this pain isn't a punishment. It's an invitation. Have you ever noticed how a diamond is formed? It starts as something ordinary, just carbon, buried deep in the earth. But under immense pressure and heat, it transforms into something extraordinary, something unbreakable. That's what pain does to the chosen ones. It applies the pressure needed to strip away everything that isn't real, everything that isn't you. It forces you to face your shadows, your fears, your doubts, so you can emerge stronger, brighter, and more powerful than ever before. But here's the thing: transformation is never easy. The path of the chosen one is sacred, but it's also lonely. You'll find yourself walking away from people, places, and things that no longer resonate with your soul. You'll question everything you once believed in, and there will be moments when you feel like giving up. But I want you to remember something: every great healer, every great teacher, every great leader has walked this path. You are not alone. The pain you feel is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of your strength. Because most people spend their entire lives running from their pain. They numb it, avoid it, distract themselves from it. But you've chosen to face it, to sit with it, to allow it to transform you. That takes courage. That takes power. And that's what sets you apart. But pain is only the beginning. Once you've faced it, once you've allowed it to break you open, something amazing starts to happen. You begin to discover your purpose. And let me tell you, your purpose is not small. It's not to live a comfortable life, to follow the rules, or to chase after meaningless goals. Your purpose is to change the world, but to be a light in the darkness. To show others what's possible when we live from a place of truth, love, and authenticity. But how do you find your purpose? That's the question everyone wants an answer to, isn't it? We spend so much time searching for it, as if it's something outside of ourselves. But the truth is, your purpose has been with you all along. It's written in your soul. It's woven into the fabric of your being. You don't need to find it, you just need to remember it. So let me ask you, when was the last time you felt truly alive? not just happy or content, but deeply, passionately alive. What were you doing? Who were you with? How did it feel? That's where you'll find the clues to your purpose. It's not something you think your way into, it's something you feel your way into. It's the thing that sets your soul on fire, that makes you lose track of time, that fills you with energy and joy. But here's the catch: your purpose will almost always require you to step out of your comfort zone. It will challenge you. It will scare you. Because your purpose is bigger than you. It's not just about you, it's about what you can give to the world. And that means you'll need to grow into it. You'll need to let go of the small, limited version of yourself and step into the expansive, powerful being you truly are. This is where power comes in. And I don't mean the kind of power that comes from controlling others or gaining status. I'm talking about true power, the kind that comes from within. The kind that can't be taken away from you, no matter what happens. This power comes from knowing who you are, from trusting yourself, from aligning with your soul's truth no matter how hard it gets. But here's the thing about power: it's not something you take. It's something you reclaim. Because the truth is, you've always been powerful. You were born powerful. But over the years, this world has conditioned you to forget that. It's told you that you're small, that you're weak, that you're small, that you're weak, that you're not enough. It's filled your mind with doubts, fears, and limitations. And the journey of the chosen one is about unlearning all of that. It's about remembering who you really are. So I want you to ask yourself something: where have you been giving your power away? To other people? To fear? To the opinions of others? To the past? Take a moment to really think about it. Because reclaiming your power starts with awareness. Once you see where you've been giving it away, you can start to take it back. Reclaiming your power doesn't mean becoming arrogant or controlling. It means standing in your truth. It means setting boundaries. It means honoring your needs, your values, and your purpose. It means choosing love over fear, even when it's hard. And most importantly, it means trusting yourself. Because deep down, you already know what you need to do. You already know the path you're meant to walk. You just have to trust yourself enough to take that first step. And let me tell you, when you do, something incredible happens. The universe starts to move with you. Doors open. Opportunities arise. People show up to support you. It's like the whole world starts to conspire in your favor. Because when you align with your soul's purpose, you're not just walking your path, you're walking the path of the universe. And that's when miracles happen. But remember, this journey is not just about you. It's about the impact you're here to make, the light you're here to share, the lives you're here to touch. And that's why the world needs you to rise. Not because you're perfect, but because you're willing to face your pain, willing to find your purpose, willing to reclaim your power. So, I'll leave you with this question as we move forward: what would your life look like if you fully stepped into your power? If you stopped holding back, stopped doubting yourself, and started living from a place of truth, love, and purpose? Think about it. Because that's the life you were born to live. There comes a moment in every chosen one's journey when the weight of their purpose begins to feel lighter. Not because the challenges disappear or the path becomes easier, but because they've discovered something profound. The light they've spent their whole lives searching for was within them all along. This realization changes everything. It's the turning point where the chosen one stops asking, "Why me?" and starts declaring, "It must be me, but what does it mean to become the light?" What does it mean to lead the world into a new era? It's not about being perfect or having all the answers. It's not about being better than anyone else. It's about aligning with the deepest truth of who you are and allowing that truth to ripple out into the world. It's about being a living example of what's possible when we choose love over fear, connection over separation, and purpose over comfort. Let's start with this: the world doesn't change through force. It changes through frequency. You don't save the world by fixing it, controlling it, or fighting against it. You save the world by raising its vibration. And the most powerful way to do that is to raise your own. Because energy is contagious. When you embody love, peace, and authenticity, you create a ripple effect that touches everyone around you. You might not see it, but your light is shifting the energy of the entire planet. Have you ever walked into a room and immediately felt the energy shift, either in a good way or a bad way? That's the power of frequency. And as a chosen one, your energy has always been different. People might not have been able to explain it, but they could feel it. That's why you've attracted both love and resistance in your life. Some people were drawn to your light, while others were intimidated by it. But now, as you step fully into your power, your energy becomes even stronger. And that's when your true leadership begins. But let's be clear, leadership, in the spiritual sense, isn't about standing on a stage or preaching to the masses. It's about embodying the change you want to see in the world. Gandhi said it best: be the change. That's what chosen ones do. They lead by example. They don't force others to wake up, they inspire them to wake up. And they do this by living authentically, fearlessly, and compassionately. Let me ask you this: when was the last time you truly allowed yourself to be seen? Not the version of you that's polished, acceptable, or easy to digest, but the real you. The raw, vulnerable, beautifully imperfect you. Because that's the light the world needs. Not some idealized version of enlightenment, but the messy, human, authentic light that comes from embracing every part of yourself: the light and the shadow, the pain and the joy, the fear and the courage. That's what makes you relatable. That's what makes you powerful. As chosen ones, we're not here to pretend we're above the struggles of life. We're here to show the world that transformation is possible, even in the midst of chaos. We're here to remind people that they, too, are capable of rising. But how do you do that? How do you lead others when you're still on your own journey? The answer is simple: you don't need to be perfect to inspire others. You just need to be willing. Willing to share your light. Willing to share your story. Willing to be vulnerable, even when it's uncomfortable. Think about the people who have inspired you the most. Were they perfect, or were they real? Chances are it was their authenticity, their courage, and their willingness to be vulnerable that touched you the most. That's the kind of leader you're meant to be. Not someone who has all the answers, but someone who's brave enough to ask the questions. Not someone who's never fallen, but someone who's always gotten back up. But here's something important to remember: being the light doesn't mean ignoring the darkness. In fact, it's the opposite. It means facing the darkness both within yourself and in the world with compassion, courage, and clarity. It means holding space for the pain, the fear, and the uncertainty without letting it consume you. Because the truth is, you can't heal what you're unwilling to face. And as a chosen one, part of your mission is to bring light to the darkest corners of the world. But let me ask you, what does darkness mean to you? Is it fear? Anger? Hatred? Separation? And what would happen if, instead of fighting against it, you chose to meet it with love, That doesn't mean condoning it or ignoring it. It means understanding that darkness is simply the absence of light. And the only way to dispel it is to shine brighter. This is where your power comes in. As you step into your light, you become a beacon for others. And let me tell you, the world needs beacons right now. It needs people who are willing to shine, even when it feels hard. People who are willing to hold the vision of a better world, even when everything seems to be falling apart. People who are willing to lead, not with force, but with love. That's what you're here to do. But here's the tricky part. Leading the world into a new era isn't about fixing the old one. It's about creating something entirely new. It's about dreaming bigger, thinking differently, and refusing to settle for the limitations of the past. It's about stepping out of the cycles of fear, control, and division, and stepping into a new paradigm of love, freedom, and unity. So let me ask you this: what kind of world do you want to create? What does it look like? What does it feel like? Who are you in that world? Take a moment to really imagine it, because that vision is your guide. That vision is your anchor. And every time you choose love over fear, connection over separation, and truth over illusion, you're helping to bring that vision to life. But remember, you don't have to do it alone. One of the most powerful things about being a chosen one is that you're part of a larger collective. You might not always see them, but there are others like you, people waking up, stepping into their power, and shining their light. And together, you're creating a ripple effect that's changing the world. So, as we come to the end of this journey, I want to leave you with one final thought: your light matters. Your voice matters. Your journey matters. Even on the days when it feels like nothing is changing, even on the days when the world feels heavy, even on the days when you feel like giving up, remember this: you are making a difference. Simply by being you. Simply by choosing to rise. And so I'll ask you one last question: what will you do with the light you've been given? Will you hide it, or will you let it shine, boldly, unapologetically, and brilliantly? The choice is yours. But remember, you were chosen for a reason. The world is waiting for you to rise.